My wife and I came to Northeast Christian about 18 years ago, and we were looking for a church that appealed to us and what we needed with small kids. And we looked at a couple of different churches, and we settled on Northeast because it just felt like home. I was probably your typical person who comes in and sits on the back row and just kind of observes what's going on and kind of gauges people, and a little reluctant to get involved, a lot reluctant to get involved, and ended up being asked to help with kids basketball. I've always been sports-minded. It was in my wheelhouse. I thought, oh, this is fine. It was comfortable for me. I thought that I can do this forever and everything will be good. And did that for several years, and that's how I got involved, my first step into serving. Well, one of my first experiences with Northeast was seeing the greeters at the door and just watching them and see how happy they were. The smiles on their faces made me feel welcome here, and I always thought, well, that would be a good thing for me. And so my wife and I started a greeter team. It certainly carries over into your daily life, and it should, because that's where you're going to win most of the people. If you greet like that everywhere you go, that's where you're going to win the folks, and at least get them in the door to share in what we see every weekend. You're being like Jesus. Jesus was on the earth to serve. I mean, let's face it. He washed the feet of the disciples at the Last Supper, and wow, that just blows me away just to think about that. So what can I do to be like him? It makes you put aside your issues and think about others' issues, and that's a big deal for me. If you're sitting on the back row like I was when I first came to church here, you need to get up out of your seat and not wait any longer. There are folks that need you to get out of your seat. The biggest thing, I think, is it increases your faith, because you've got a front row seat, whatever you're doing, wherever you're serving, to see God change lives. And I've seen it over and over and over again. And if that doesn't increase somebody's faith to know that he's there and he's changing lives, nothing else will.